Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the GTA 5 single-player DLC. That's right, it's not April Fool's, I'm not pulling a prank on you, I'm not trying to troll anyone. That's right, today we're actually going to be talking about some new information and really credible rumors regarding Grand Theft Auto 5's long-lost story mode expansion. So I was ready to, no pun intended, bury the hatchet on this single-player DLC, any sort of story mode expansion. I mean, it's been 3 years since the game has come out, and there's really no point of just trying to wait for Rockstar to do something, especially when it was so obvious that their focus has been on Grand Theft Auto Online with the countless free updates that they've done over the past 3 years. So needless to say, I had completely moved on. I was not focused on the single player DLC, which was disappointing because of how awesome the two from Grand Theft Auto 4 were, and I was really excited with the awesome canvas that the story mode of Grand Theft Auto 5 laid out for a ton of different expansions. I mean, there's a ton of different directions Rockstar could go. They could go kind of after the end of the game, once they deal with Devin Weston. They could have done like a before they all met. Maybe we wanted to know the early life of Trevor or the early life of Franklin or more of the early life of Michael. They could have explored any of those elements, or they could have brought a brand new character into the game, very similar to how they did in Grand Theft Auto 4 with The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony and Johnny Klebitz and Luis Lopez. But I'm digressing a bit, and this video is not about to be what I want to see regarding the single-player DLC, but rather what actually happened yesterday. So I was live streaming yesterday, and this information actually came out, and it's one of the reasons why I didn't make a video the other day on this, and I also wanted to kind of let the chips fall into place. I didn't want to rush to make a video and then have information change or something be updated or different. So I wanted to just completely avoid that altogether. Basically, yesterday, Yan put out this tweet. He said, I got some interesting infos/rumors about the Grand Theft Auto 5 single player DLC maybe coming back, and then read at the GTA Forum site. And on the GTA Forum site, he stated this. So he said, hey all, I recently got new informations that I gotta admit are very surprising, but also very interesting. Remember how I kept saying the single player DLC is no longer a thing, that they basically canceled it and forgot about it to instead use some of it in their efforts on Grand Theft Auto Online updates? Well, apparently upper management are starting to seriously consider bringing it back, even though it would only come after Red Dead Redemption 2 launches, and maybe not right after. It could be a while. He goes on to say, as we kind of guessed with the few things that were found about it in the files a while ago, mostly by FunMW2, they had already had quite a lot of work done before they scrapped it. I was told it was about 60 to 70% complete. Mocap, tech animations, and voiceover are done. Basically, the biggest part of the job is done. Completing it would not be that hard. He goes on to say, supporting Grand Theft Auto 5 with the DLC after Red Dead Redemption 2 could also mean they will keep supporting Grand Theft Auto Online at least until this DLC comes out, in my opinion. That goes against the info I had a while back saying that they are planning to end the Grand Theft Auto Online updates around spring 2017, but them changing their minds is not a very surprising thing. And he basically just follows up by saying that that's what he has heard so far. It doesn't mean that the information is 100% spot on or correct, and that Rockstar always like to change their mind. So we've got a lot to talk about here because that is incredibly interesting. So the biggest part of all of this is it is not a confirmation that a single player DLC is going to happen. I want to make that very clear from the gate here that this is not coming from Rockstar's Newswire. It looks to be coming from a source inside Rockstar that Yan knows, or at least someone that he knows. So as far as this being legit, I think this is as close to the Rockstar Newswire as we're going to get to it being legit, even though it's not coming straight from Rockstar. Another big thing here is that he said apparently upper management are starting to seriously consider bringing it back. So seriously consider means that they're thinking about it. It doesn't mean that it's set in stone, that they plan on bringing it back, that it's, in the pipeline and it's going to happen. They're considering it, which is obviously a great thing. Don't get me wrong here. But once again, it doesn't mean that any of this is confirmed, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be obviously coming out or that it's been 100% clarified that it's coming into the game. Now, there's two bits of information here that I think are super important if this is true. The first of which is that he stated it would be coming out out after Red Dead Redemption 2 launches. Now, we know Red Dead Redemption 2 is slated for 2017. That's at right now the time that Rockstar says it's going to be coming out. Depending on if they delay it or if they push it back, this could mean that this DLC might not release until 2018, maybe 2019, because he stated that it's likely to not come out right after the game releases. So wouldn't that be something that maybe 5 or 6 years after Grand Theft Auto 5 releases, that we finally then get a single-player DLC? That is actually pretty insane, if I do say so myself. But he also says this is great news for Grand Theft Auto Online, because Yan believes that Rockstar won't abandon supporting online until the single-player DLC comes out. And in my opinion, that kind of makes sense too. I don't know what Rockstar has planned for Grand Theft Auto Online in 2017 or even beyond once they release RDR 2, but I think it makes sense that the single-player update for Grand Theft Auto 5 would be its grand finale and not necessarily something in Grand Theft Auto Online. And in my opinion, that would be pretty cool. It would kind of be a graceful way to kind of exit stage left and to, write the end of Grand Theft Auto 5, but it could also be a great way to extend the lifetime of this game, maybe even right up until the point of the next Grand Theft Auto game, GTA 6 or whatever it's going to be, Vice City 2 or San Andreas 2. I got no idea what they're going to call it at this point. And one of the most interesting things that he also mentions is that he states that the single-player update is about 60 to 70% complete, which is a lot. And he also believes that they have the hardest parts done, all the mocap and voice acting that basically had to be done by some of the more high-end actors that made the original single-player DLC possible. So now what I want to do is kind of give you guys a brief history of everything we know so far about the Grand Theft Auto 5 single-player DLC. Let's start with official statements from Rockstar. The last time we heard anything from Rockstar on this was actually on their newswire regarding the spring updates all the way back in 2014. So they stated, and later this year, look for even more additions to both Grand Theft Auto Online and Grand Theft Auto 5, including more holiday-themed updates, some very exciting story mode DLC, and much more. Now, this newswire post came out way early in 2014. I want to say like February or March. And that was the last official time we heard about Grand Theft Auto 5 Story Mode DLC from Rockstar. Now, thankfully, they weren't the only ones talking about it. 2 out of the 3 voice actors and likeness of the main characters of the game have been speaking out about the single-player DLC quite often. One of them is Sean Fontino, who plays Franklin. He has posted numerous photos on his Instagram suggesting that he was doing some sort of expansion regarding a Rockstar title, likely Grand Theft Auto 5 Story Mode DLC. You can see multiple photos here with him in a mocap suit and sort of Rockstar paraphernalia or posters behind him. And he also did an interview with Jack Thriller where he literally said, "I'm working on the GTA 5 Story Mode DLC." I'll let you take a listen to that right now.
We working on the DLC downloadable content, man, for Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's real big, man. That's like first on my list right now to finish that up, because that's a lot of more cake, man. The check.
A lot of new money.
So it's super obvious that that's what he's working on, and it just didn't make sense when it never came out. So once again, very, very interesting stuff right there. And we've also heard something from Michael, although he's been a little bit more vague, and that is Ned Luke. He stated, "Everyone wants single-player DLC, but I know nothing about that. Don't know when it's going to happen or even if it's going to happen." That's the only quote he has stated about that. Now, I think that quote comes from the fact that he signed a non-disclosure agreement and less about the fact that he knows nothing about it. I'm sure he just doesn't want to get in trouble with Rockstar, but that is the official statement he's made with an interview on VG247.com. And Stephen Ogg, who played Trevor, has not said anything regarding the single-player DLC. He has been the least vocal about it, which is interesting because his character is obviously the most kind of vibrant in the game in terms of craziness. So you would have thought he would have maybe have said something about the issue itself. So I don't know about you guys, but this has gotten me really excited, and I hope that it isn't just like a tease here and that nothing happens, which is why I'm going to temper my expectations a ton here. I don't want want to expect something and then not have it come out, which is why I'm still going to take these rumors with like the biggest grain of salt possible. And at this point, I'm just going to expect that it won't come out, so that if it does, I will be so thoroughly happy and surprised that it's just going to make my day, make my week, make my year, whatever the case is. I really want a GTA 5 single player expansion because I feel like there's so many different routes they could go. As I was touching on earlier, they could expand the main characters, they could focus on a new character. The main plot of GTA 5 was all about heist, which is kind of the background gameplay you guys are seeing right now. I wonder if they would do new heist or if they would go in a different direction. Would they open up some of the locked elements that we see in the game? Would they go to another city? I mean, there's just so many different questions here and so many different scenarios, and this new information provided by Yan has gotten me very, very excited. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to temper my expectations for now because I don't want to get hyped and then, a year or two down the line when there's absolutely nothing mentioned about this update, just become so disappointed again. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What do you think about this new information, this new rumor about the single player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's never going to happen? I'd love to hear from you guys there. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.